What's going on, guys? It's Carlos, your host from the Just Fans podcast. I'm joined here today by my co-host Poppy. Let him know what's up, Poppy.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. How's it going? Everybody doing? Jesus,
What was that?
yeah, I know.
We
Just
need
had
to
a
practice
stroke.
on your
Oh,
speech pattern there, sir. What's going on?
just had a
Sounds
stroke mid
good for
sentence.
me, sir.
You sound like Rocky after.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? What's going
You
on?
sound like Rocky. Hey, yo, Adrian, I didn't hear no bell.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. And we got Rios in the house. Let him know what's up, Rios.
Evening, gentlemen. Evening.
That's it. That's all you got.
All I got.
That's awful.
Yeah, he
Very
didn't want to mess
enthusiastic
up
there,
after
Rios. I
I
think I
did.
like Poppy's intro better. And of course, we got our old friend of the show, HTownWheelHouse, Brett Shane. So let them know what's up, Brett. How's it going, bud?
What is up, man? We're in H-Town and we are rolling to a second straight World Series title. Loving
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes,
Already
sir.
know.
Yes, sir. The Astros are gonna dominate
Back to
this
back.
season again. We're gonna make the we're gonna be the Yankees daddy again this season. Let's go. I'm excited for baseball. It's coming up. We've been keeping up a little bit with spring training. What are you taking from spring training? What's some of the positives that you've seen so far from spring training there, Brett?
I mean, I got to start out with my guy, Justin Dearden, man, the bearded wonder. This dude can mash with the best of them. He's got a great arm. Good Lord, that's a large beer you got in your hand. But man, that kind of threw me off there, man. I was to drink that tall. Like, this
Drunkle,
is
right?
Texas. Things are
Drunkle,
bigger and
drunkle.
better. That's right. Drunkle Rios right there. But seriously, Justin Dearden, I mean, look, when Dusty Baker speaks, things happen. You know, last year, him and Altuve both said, you know, Jeremy Pena is the next, you know, superstar Houston Astro. And what did Jeremy Pena do? You know, Justin Dearden is, you know, while we're talking about the center field battle between Myers and McCormick, Myers doesn't wow me right now. It's, you know, Dearden. And then Ronel Blanco. Now we're talking about, could he be stretched out as a starter? And will they need him? Hunter Brown's looked a little shaky, but I'm not worried about that because he kind of started spring training like that last year, working on his breaking pitches, and that's kind of what took him a little bit longer time to get to the majors. And I think the other two things we're looking at is when will Yordan Alvarez start swinging the bat, and when will Uncle Mike be ready? Because he's had to leave two different times for the same family situation. We don't know what that is. We hope everything's okay, but he may be delayed, I think, up to a week, possibly before opening day. So the bottom line is the Astros, some of them come in not healthy, but I would rather them have those issues now than in June or July and jeopardize a playoff run.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly true. I was going to ask you about that too, about the Hunter Brown situation. I know they pulled him out a little early during spring training, one of the games, and it for some, I guess it might be worrisome, but for you, you seem pretty like okay with it because you said you kind of seen that before last season. Is that correct? Like
Yeah, you know, he basically said, look, he was frustrated. He's working on some different mechanical things. He was trying to keep the breaking pitches in the strike zone, but it was his fastballs that he was walking people on. But his fastballs, they weren't missing. Like, if you go back and look at the charts from the game, he wasn't missing that much. I would rather him have the struggles now. Look, he came in hot last year at the end of the season, into the playoffs, and he didn't have a pitch clock. This year, he comes in with the pitch clock. He comes in with more pressure because people like me, maybe people like y'all will say he's Justin Verlander 2.0. So he's got definitely a little bit more pressure on him. Now, even though I may say he's the next Justin Verlander, I'm not putting him in the Hall of Fame yet. I'm just saying he has the potential to do great things on the mound. And that pressure's got to get to him. He's human, but I know he's a competitor. And I expect things to iron themselves out for him in the 2023 season.
So, as far as what I've seen, right, well, my thoughts on the whole situation with Hunter Brown is, I'm trying to be one of those guys who doesn't put any pressure on him. I feel like my colleagues here have compared him to Justin Verlander since the media started, pretty much, right? And I've been saying from the very beginning, like, let's not do that. Let's not do that because Justin Verlander is a generational pitcher, first ballot Hall of Famer. He's got an amazing career. Hunter Brown is still very raw when it comes to his mechanics and everything. And like you said, like, he's working on it right now. Like, I'm very happy as an Astros fan with the bullpen that we have at the moment to going to the season, like if the first 10 losses we get on the year are with him on the mound, I wouldn't even be too upset about it, because this is the time for him to get like used to the pitch clock, like you said, get used to the league, the level, and the expectations we have of him. Do that now, and then next year when we're going for the three-peat, then I'm gonna need you to contribute some. But I feel like this year I'm not too bothered about him like struggling per se. I feel like we got the bullpen to carry us through at least the first half of the season with little to no issue. I feel like I have more issue with the whole Brantley thing, um, because I feel like we're really counting on him this season, and because we haven't seen him play consistently for so long, I'm still unsure as to how that's gonna look like. I don't know what the guys think though.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's gonna have his struggles. Again, he didn't play a whole lot last year. He's gonna have his struggles, especially with all the rule changes now. I think, yeah, like he's mentioned, my Uncle Mike's probably a bigger concern, and I don't know. Me personally, I would leave Pena in the 2 spot. Like when he was in that 2 spot, he was just raking. His batting average like what, around like 295. He was he was a whole different player. Batting 2 versus in the 6 in the order. So I think that makes a difference also.
Yeah, the whole Pena being too. I think if Brantley's healthy, I think you've got to put Brantley there just because of who he is. You could even, and look, I mean, I think it's almost criminal that Kyle Tucker hits as low as he does.
Yes.
But now you add Jose Abreu, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, Dusty's going to go with the left, right. He's going to go with those things. But look, Kyle Tucker, I know Jose Altuve hits better at leadoff. I know what his average is. But Kyle Tucker was hitting 500 before he left for the World Baseball Classic in that leadoff spot. Granted, it's spring training, so we always temper. Like if a guy, throws 3 scoreless innings, he's not going to get 3 no-hitters in the regular season. But Kyle Tucker hitting leadoff looked really comfortable, and even comfortable with the pitch clock, which is a horrendous thing. Is probably like a whole nother show to get into, because what an abomination to just everything that's holy. Like this is like, honestly, like Rob Manfred needs to like confess or something, because this dude is sinning against baseball. The baseball gods have got to be pissed, because this is the most abhorrent, terrible rule that I've ever seen in my life.
And that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, we need to talk about it. We have opinions. We have opinions.
Yeah, we all have opinions. I don't like it for sure. The pitch count. I know Rios. I'm not sure how you feel about it, but I know you
absolutely hate it. I don't want to lose a game in the playoffs because of the stupid clock.
Correct.
Yeah. And Poppy, I know you were a little indifferent about it. You were yes,
so
no.
I'm lean more towards yes. I think it's a good idea. As much as I love baseball, and I do love it because it's my favorite sport, after soccer, I would say like watching 3 to 6 hours of baseball sometimes can be a little too much. But I feel like the pitch clock, I knew going in, because I've been using it in the minors for some time. I knew as soon as it was going to be implemented into the league, I knew it was going to cause mayhem, and people were going to hate it, fans and players alike. But just like we've seen with rule changes in other sports in the past, it's gonna take some time. Now, do they need to adjust it?
Oh, yeah,
probably.
I think that's the more. I mean, you can't take it away, right?
Yeah,
right,
you cannot take it away. You cannot take it away after you implemented it, especially just after spring training or whatever.
But did you see the Eric Hosmer at bat?
I've been seeing a lot of different at bats.
The dude's in the box and he's twirling the bat, and the umpire's like, now it's the ump show. It's
exactly. I feel like it gives a lot of power to the umpires.
It does.
I already have a crazy beef with umpires across the league.
Don't get me started on Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, like we've discussed it in the show before, but I feel like the older umpires tend to have more of an ego than some of the younger ones that are trying to like prove themselves because they want to get those big games in the playoffs. But I feel like there's a lot of umpires that have egos. Angel Hernandez being probably the biggest criminal of all, who love to make the game about him. And I feel like this gives a lot of power to the umpires.
Well, I remember last year Actually, it was the year before last. I had a conversation with one of the commissioners of AAA of all of AAA baseball, a guy that had actually umpired with Joe West in 2 different World Series.
Wow.
This guy's been around the game, and what's funny was this guy was from, I believe he's from New England or New Jersey, and he had like this weird gold nugget pinky ring, and he talked with this accent, and I was like, this dude's got to be in the mafia. He's got to be on the tip. Like, I had to be careful what I said because I
He's
thought
on the
maybe he
payroll.
had
He's on the
snuffed me
payroll
out.
for sure.
Like that night, like Brett disappears. I'm done, right?
Did he make you an offer you couldn't refuse, Brett?
Exactly. He's like,
He's still here, so obviously.
he's like, hey, you need a belt? I got a belt guy. You know, like he was kind of like that.
I'm good. I'm good.
But this dude, I just asked him about what he thought about challenges, and he hates challenges. He goes, umpires hate it. He goes, we go out there every day because we want to keep the game, you know, with integrity. But let me tell you, he goes, it's an insult. And sometimes, look, we know we can't see every single play, but you know, he goes, you make mistakes at work, you don't get to get a replay on that, do you? And he was like, he was disgruntled about it. I can imagine, like, can you imagine the meeting of the umpires probably saying, so wait, hold on, how am I supposed to know when they're ready or not? Is that a judgment call? Because they're being way too nitpicky on this rule. I mean, look, if a hitter's not looking at the pitcher, I'm the pitcher. I'm gonna quick pitch it. I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna get a strike. But now they're rewarding things that aren't earned, and that's the problem I have with it. Is you're getting a reward for something you didn't earn. You're getting, you know, a ball or a strike. So
yeah, it's a great point to
like
make.
I said, they're gonna have to adjust it, and there's gonna be some kind of compromise. The players need to adjust to the rule, and the rule needs to adjust to the league, basically. So
See,
it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna take some time. Hopefully, come playoff time, we're not having those issues like Rios mentioned, like, oh, we're losing a playoff game because you know, the umpire decided that this guy wasn't ready or whatever.
But that's the thing, though. It's going to make whenever it starts making a difference in games like that,
everything makes a
if it's
difference.
still, I mean,
Everything makes a difference in games.
Yeah,
like you see, like Angel Hernandez, like you see his report card after the game, and he's like, oh, there were like 17 balls that he called strike. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
everything makes a difference. Like the shift is going to make a difference. Like, you know, are players going to get on base more? Are they going to get on? Some players are going to get on base more. Some players are going to get on base a lot less.
Well,
and that affects people's paychecks as well. You know what I'm saying?
It does. You know, I don't mind, honestly, I don't mind bigger bases. I don't mind them trying to increase steals. I don't like the banning of the shift. I think they should limit it. I don't know if I've mentioned this on y'all's show, but I think each team should get 5 shifts. And so
5 shifts a game?
Yeah, per game. So like if let's just say, you know, I'm facing the Yankees and Aaron Judge, or think of a pool hitter kind of like who pulls the ball out, Juan Soto, you know, Mookie Betts, something like that. So I'm going to use 3 of my shifts. I know every time player A gets up, and then I'm going to use 2 of my shifts to a guy that maybe come in and he comes in pitch hits, and Joey Gallo, I'm going to use it against him because we know every time he's going to hit the ball to the right side of the field. And they got around it where they're moving the left fielder over to right field. And I actually heard Craig Biggio talk about that at a town hall at a season ticket holder meeting where we got to ask some questions. And he said teams are going to be bringing that left fielder over to right field. And you know what? They've already been doing it. So teams are going to find their way around. At the end of the day, as a coach, you have to say, look, we can't let one call beat us. But at the same time, when one call has now so much power and that takes less variables out of it, I think it's wrong. Extend the pitch clock, give some freaking leeway. They're being too rigid about it. I mean, if a guy's in the box and both feeders in and he's twirling the bat, how is he not ready? All he has to do is put his bat up. You know, literally the other day, because the bat wasn't up, you know, automatic strike. What's that? It's just bull crap.
So I feel like you could see it both ways, right? Because coaches always want to get an advantage over their opponent. So there's gonna be there's people like fans like us that are like, you know, there's no way, like you can't be that strict with the rule because it's ridiculous. You're giving away like free strikes that aren't earned, like you're saying. But then the coach of the other team is gonna be on his freaking stopwatch every single at bat, and I'll be like, no, that guy's taking forever, or whatever. So you're gonna have it both ways, regardless.
It could
I
be a
feel
mess. That's the thing. It's going to be a mess, but like you said, the coaches are going to start doing, and then it's going to take a little bit longer because like the coaches are going to start arguing every single play.
I cannot wait for exactly. They're gonna be arguing
Yeah,
every single
every
at
single
bat.
play.
Well, here's another aspect. The mound visit. A mound visit is only 30 seconds. Well, it's going to take Dusty 8 to 10 seconds just to get to the mound.
Can we extend it for 45?
No offense, but if I'm Dusty, I ain't walking fast.
Yeah,
I'm slow walking that because I earned that. I earned that walk to the.
Mhm.
To me, that is where, again, and when I ask people why are we doing this, and they're like to pick up the pace of play. I'm like, why are we trying to pick up the pace of play? Well, to gain more fans. Okay, at the end of the season, show me the 12 to 15,000 fans per stadium that attended because I hear the game's not 4 hours long, it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be 2 hours and 18 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that during the regular season. You got advertisements, you got other things coming into play. It's not going to be that short. This is kind of giving us a false sense of security from the league that, look, so either 2 hours and 6 minutes, 2 hours and 8 minutes. I don't think that's realistic.
See, and I agree with you 100% on that, H-Town, because I'm like, I thought to myself, okay, yes, they do it in the minors. They've done it in the minors, but when you go see one of those games, like, yeah, I get it from the aspect of, okay, I gotta go. I have family stuff, whatever. The problem is though, like that to me, that takes away from the sport. Like you're there to watch a game that you paid, like you get your money's worth. Really, I think with baseball you get your money's worth. It's one of those few sports that you can say you get your money's worth. Things happen, is very chill, very relaxed. We've been to soccer games, we've been to football games, we've been to things, and in baseball, when I first got into it, I just realized how relaxing, and it can be relaxing and it can be just utter chaos at the same time. And it has those elements in that. And so to me, I'm thinking, the more you start making these changes, like I feel like it's gonna bring down the almost like needless to say, the purity of the sport, because that's the whole point of it. Like you're there, you can keep playing those innings. Let's talk like the Seattle Mariners Astros game. Like that went on for 18 innings. Now I get that was a lot of baseball. I get it. But I mean, think of it. That's the whole point of baseball. It's supposed to be 9 innings. But if it keeps going, it keeps going. Like that's
look, here's the deal with this, and just getting into, I love 3 or 4 hour games. When I go to a game, it's an experience. I'm there to hang out with my friends. I'm there to watch. I want to know that when I get up and get a drink or just go to the freaking bathroom, that I'm not going to come back and 2 innings have gone by. Now, if I'm in a game where there's like literally strikeout, right? The game's going to go quick, and that happens naturally. But to me, it's trying to create something that baseball isn't. And that's what I don't like about it. It would be like, I don't know how you would alter football in a similar fashion, but if you just did like a running clock, like, okay, NBA, we're just going to do running clock, kind of like they do at these AAU tournaments, right? 15-minute running clock. Well, those games go by quick, and they've got games they got to roll through. But rushing the game, and I think it's going to hurt the pitchers. Rushing the game is going to alter games, and I think more often than not. And I don't know. Like, you condition these players for how long? 100 plus years.
Yeah.
And the game's changed, and you have to evolve with the game. And I get that. Trust me, I know, because I'm a teacher, but I always feel like I'm a student, right? That's kind of that's my motto. I'm always a student, and I'm always willing to learn a new way. But if one of these pitchers gets hurt, taking a half stride and me and pause mid stride, which is absolutely absurd, the umpire needs to keep his hands in his pocket. If the pitcher's already started that motion, you know what? Let him throw the ball and give him a home run, and then call it a ball.
Yeah.
Like, do that. That'll piss them off, but do that, because then they're not getting injured. But stop stopping the guy halfway through his motion going to the plate. That's going to get somebody hurt.
It is. It's
distracting. That I can agree with.
It's distracting. It just kind of throws off everything. You're expecting this, and I didn't like it. That's the only reason. That's why I don't like it. Just for that reason, because like I said, it takes away from the game. the experience, all that, and just you're right. I think it's going to get somebody hurt one eventually.
As far as the experience, like going to the games, I can see how a faster game could, be annoying or whatever. But as far as watching the game, like on TV or whatever, and I feel like that's some of the stuff that they want to fix with this. They want, yes, more fans at the stadium, but they also want more people tuning in. Like baseball used to be the sport in America, like 100 years ago or whatever.
You take away the blackout rule.
That too. That'll fix it too. That's a whole other
whole other issue.
That we got on full. Yeah. But I feel like it would help out a lot as long as we're taking care of the players first. The game is always going to evolve. Right.
What are you drinking? Because that threw me off now, just like it did to H-Town earlier. What are you drinking?
Saving it for beer of the week, sir.
Oh, we'll save it for beer of the week. We have a segment called beer of the week.
Is that why you were asking me before?
Yeah, exactly.
He was asking him.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, it just threw me off right now when I was saying. I was like, oh wow, my ADD kicked in. But I mean, I feel that sometimes, like whenever I'm watching the games and like H-Town, I teach as well. So sometimes I'm like grading papers, watching the game at the same time. And so I can see why like a game that's like slower like is good, because I'm doing like two things at once. I'm grading my papers, I'm watching the game and stuff like that at home. So to me, I mean, that's just to me though. To me personally, that's why it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me because it's like it's my time to maybe grab a drink, grade my stuff, watch.
Yeah, but you can do that with the Big Bang Theory, bro. You can do that with pretty much anything. Like
I used to do it with the Big Bang Theory.
It's 182 games of baseball.
Right.
I love baseball.
But isn't that the joy of it though?
That's too much baseball, and that's why people don't tune into every game. I'm a huge baseball fan. I do not watch even half the games that are on.
I do.
We
watched it this year.
there's 82 basketball games. I don't watch every single one.
Okay.
There's what 17 games of football. Like with my job, because I work
right. I mean, but I
try to catch at least half of them.
Right.
If I didn't work weekends, I would watch every single one.
Of course,
I would watch every single one, and that's numbers that are going to this TV networks or whatever, and they're getting more viewers. They're getting more viewers. If I watch baseball Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
I won't mind missing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, especially if the games go for like 3-4 hours.
I'll tell you what I've always found amazing, and maybe I can get to this point at one time in my life. Become a season ticket holder. I've met season ticket holders that literally for like 10 years have had perfect attendance, have been to every home game and every playoff game for like 5 or 6 years, and I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah,
that is insane. That is like some telling people, you know what? Sorry, I'm glad you're in the hospital. The doctors will take care of you, but I got a baseball game to go to.
Yeah. And it's like, it's crazy because like, okay, you and I, we're in a similar field. Like I know when I'm walking out tired, exhausted. If I was a season ticket holder, I know that I'm, even though the stadium is pretty close to me at my job, I'm like, I don't find myself just like after a grueling day, you know what I'm talking about, those grueling days that just kind of pound you down as a teacher. I just don't see myself like, you know what? I just want to go home, watch a game, relax, and that's it. But I want to be home doing that. Like, but if I go to like the stadium, I know that it's going to be all this, the traffic. Yeah. And so as a season ticket holder, I'm like, oh man, how do you do it?
Well, here's the deal. We're talking about, growing the game pretty much in all this, lifting the blackout. They need to mic players. I even said this, what they need to do, especially for people in the stadium, to make it a more interactive environment. And you could do this, you could connect this with whoever's broadcasting it, is let's just say it's Jeremy Pena World Series MVP bobblehead day, right? Mic him up and interview him in the dugout. Pipe it through the stadium speakers in the 7th inning, okay? Or maybe the 6th inning, because you got the 7th inning stretch songs. But do something where the fans feel a part. Do more of these like jersey off my back games, because they used to do that all the time, where like they would pick a seat and you would get the jersey off that player's back. The game, he wore that jersey in that game, and you get Altuve's jersey, or heck, I don't even care if it's David Hensley. It's still like this.
Anybody.
It's the experience, right? and making MLB content more accessible. Now, I do know that, and I haven't seen how to do it, but apparently when the season starts, TikTok users will be able to grab MLB content 15 minutes after it happens to post it on TikTok without having any like copyright violations. I haven't read into the details of that. So they're making small strides. But because I'm telling you, this regional TV deal where these regional TV markets are about to implode and go away and Major League Baseball takes it over, I don't know that that's going to give people more access. But if they want to grow the game, make it available in Iowa. You are blacked out from 9 different baseball teams in Iowa. Like what's in? I don't even know what's in
nothing
Iowa.
in Iowa. Slipknot.
That's already nothing to do, and then they take everything else away.
Slipknot, the band, was part of Iowa, and that's it. That's all I know.
There you go. Isn't Roger Maris from there?
I think so. Yeah, you might be right. I think you might be right.
So,
yeah.
But I mean, that's about it. It's just there's so many things baseball could do, and I keep telling people if Major League Baseball would just hire me, I promise you, we would be just as popular as the NFL.
Hey, let's start a petition. Let's start a petition.
Let's start that petition. Hire HTownWheelHouse.
I'll sign it today. I'll start creating a bunch of accounts.
I will definitely create a bunch of Twitter accounts. And
I do agree with you. I do agree with you. Making the game more accessible for everybody. We know it's already like Little League, and people from a very young age can play it in most of the big cities here in America. But if you can make the game watchable, more available for everybody, and I like the player interaction things that you were saying.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that I love. Like getting close to the players, getting to know the players. It sucks that sometimes you're in a game, and like at a game, and you're just watching the game. But like at home, they're giving you all the stats and like clips and like interviews and stuff like that. If they did that at the game, it would be more of an incentive to be at the game and feel more connected with the team that you support. Especially with somebody like Jeremy Pena, who like comes out of basically nowhere and explodes into superstardom. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like kind of, I guess I feel like it's kind of annoying for the players, but in the playoffs, Fox started doing this. After Bryce Harper hit a home run in Philadelphia or Kyle Schwarber, right? What do? They interview him right there in the dugout. Like, why not throw those interviews up on the big screen? Like, why not?
Exactly. And I don't care if it's annoying for them. They make millions. That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
They can put up with a little bit of it.
Yeah, they can put up
I
with
like
a
to
little
see
bit.
some cussing on my TV. Like
if I was making millions of dollars, I'll have somebody interview me like every day. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
They'll get the same answers, but whatever.
You know what I'm thinking? Like, okay, you know how the NFL, like after like they reached that whole agreement, it almost like they have like the app, the NFL Plus app, right?
Right.
And it's to the point where like it hopefully like it shows like all the games as opposed to having all these things with like the Sunday night ticket, the Sunday ticket and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like baseball could do something like that too, where it gets rid of the blackouts, it gets rid of this regional stuff. And you can put it in an app just like that. I don't know, call it MLB Plus or something. I don't know.
Kind of like the NBA does their league.
Right.
Does
it do? Okay. So, and then you can put like your local stuff or whatever on there, and you can have people like pay a month, like a Disney Plus account or something, like a small charge, something that's affordable and not where you have to go and get like Fubo TV for like $70 a month or whatever. It's something like that where you can do that. If they did something like that and you provided baseball content, 24/7, that has you set. Like, I don't know why they haven't thought of something like that.
Make it 24/7. That's how you get people to watch the game.
Because my thing is, for me, it's all about bills, right? It's about keeping these lights on. It's about having the internet at home. I haven't paid a cable bill or a satellite bill since 2017. I've been doing streaming. I pay $100 a year now for 2 devices.
Right.
And my friend and I sat down and he totaled up his cable bill from 2017 till now, this last year. And I totaled mine up. I had not even paid $600. This guy paid 30-something thousand plus just in cable bills.
Jeez.
And he's getting raked over the coals. And he was like, I'm done. And I'm done. So he uses the service I use.
I did Fubo TV this past season. I mean, I thought it was worth it because obviously the Astros won the World Series. So I got to see like every game since day one, right? So I felt great. Like, yes, I feel great. But the problem is, though, if you rack up almost $80 a month with taxes times 12. Like you really look at your bills and you're like, oh, what am I doing?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But
Almost
if you had something available to the fans, like an app or something like that, where you charge them, I don't know, what does Disney Plus charge? Like $7, $8, $8.99 a month, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Something like that.
Something where you have, something available to those fans. It makes it more accessible, and I'm pretty sure your numbers would be there. Like I feel like that's how you would make up your numbers with viewership, because I mean nobody's really going to want to pay $80 a month almost for just to watch them. They'd rather just kind of see the highlights on YouTube or stream it, like you said, and that's tough.
streaming is where they're going. Streaming,
Yeah.
from what I understand, Major League Baseball I think they want to take it over, because I think they want to go to 100% streaming,
Right.
because that's where it's at. I mean, heck, y'all show, our show, you can watch it on a phone. You can be somewhere, you can watch it pretty much anywhere. You just have to have a device to go to YouTube.
Exactly. On your way to work, on your way to school or whatever.
And that's exactly where you should check us out.
Yeah.
Right.
There you
What
go.
I,
Man,
what I
check me
don't
out
want
on
them to
YouTube.
do is do something stupid. Like I hate how the NFL has like the Thursday night games on
Amazon.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's so stupid. That is
Yeah,
so
well, the Apple TV thing I think has been somewhat of a fail, even though
Yeah.
it's not Alex Curry, she's with Flippin' Bats. Whoever and I forget her name, the female commentator for Apple TV did state that she watches like whatever city she's watching. Like if it's the Astros and Mets, she'll watch Locked On Astros and Locked On Mets that week and listen to us. She's like, hey, she listened to us. And so, so that's a cool aspect of it. But Apple TV has really been more miss than swing. They haven't made much contact. I wish MLB Network would do more. I would listen to those guys. Robert Flores. We've had him on the show several times. Hey,
nice.
You guys need to reach out to Roflo, man. He's an H-Town guy.
Robert Flores.
I bet you if you guys get him up, I bet you he would swing by.
The last time you told us I recommend you somebody, it was Seth Payne, and we got him on the show, and we had such a great time. That dude is awesome.
Guy right there. I'm like, he's just going to take my
job.
job.
Learned so much from
Here's the best part, though. You know what he did the following day on Sports Radio 610? He mentioned us like it was that boy gave us a shout out. So he gave us awesome. Like we're just fans podcast there on YouTube, and he's like, wow, that was like publicity out of nowhere. We didn't expect that.
The one thing about that episode that we did with him is that like there were points in the show where like he was just talking and going on these tangents, and we were just listening because like we were so interested in everything he was saying. I kept thinking to myself, man, we haven't said a word in like 5 minutes, dude.
Which was fine, which was totally fine.
And it's like we're listening to his podcast right now.
Like, make this your show. Like, that was so cool. Like, because we try to make the guests feel as welcome as possible, because that's the whole point, right? Hanging out with the boys, hanging out with your friends and stuff like that. So, man, what I'm telling you, when he came in, straight out, it was one of the coolest things we've done.
Guys like that, I'm telling you, and look, I would just say this: DM the heck out of people. Go to Instagram, go to Twitter, just talk to them. And you know what? It took I think I DM'd Robert Flores probably 3 or 4 times over a 6-month time period, and he finally said, "Oh, hey, sorry, I don't always check my DMs.
Oh yeah,
I checked you guys out. I'd love to come on." So we haven't had him on this season yet, but he said he will come on before the season starts. So we're hoping to get him on here back on in a couple weeks. Ben Verlander has been a regular. I'm supposed, get this, I don't know if y'all saw the episode, but I challenged JC Correa to a ping pong match to Florida. And when I told him I wanted to challenge him, he said, well, I need to know, are you any good? Because if you aren't, I don't want to waste my time.
He was
talking smack. Dropped the hammer. Oh yeah. So if I can make it happen, it's going to go down.
Bro, we're doing this. We're exactly. No, that's awesome, dude. Hey, so I know you got to go, and I don't want to, waste more time unless you want to keep going. I'm down. But
no, you know what? We can keep rolling. I think we got a little private chat here. I'll let you know.
Let me know what's up. Let us know what's up, and we'll take care of that. But yeah, dude. So I don't know if you knew, but we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary.
Wow.
Next week, actually, we're having a whole 3-hour show.
Wow.
And it's gonna be live, so we got some guests. Yeah, I know. I didn't think we were gonna make it to the point. Like, I mean, come on, if you really think about it, a year ago when we started, I started the show just talking by myself for like 4 episodes, and I'm just talking. It felt like therapy. And then I get Poppy over here who's been great. And the first episode, you're still figuring out what sound is on the microphone and stuff
If
like
you
that.
listen to the first episode, like we're sitting next to each other, sharing a mic, but it sounds like I'm on the other side of the planet. Like he's like, and yeah, Justin Verlander just coming
And you're
back from an injury, and I'm like,
That's exactly how he sounded.
like he's in a bathroom.
Bring me some toilet paper.
Yeah, exactly.
we were trying to figure it out, but we got Rios not too long. Maybe I think you and I did like 3 or 4 episodes.
By the way, he was supposed to be a guest, Rios. I think we told you about this the last time you came in. He was supposed to be a guest, and he just didn't leave. And so
we found him on the street. We just asked him.
I would say, be honest, y'all went to the local liquor store, and you see Rios with this big beer in his hand. You're like, you look like
pants down his legs, all that.
He was coming out of an AA meeting. We're like, hey, you wanna swing by?
Hey, bro, are you busy? It's man, we're coming up on a year next week, so
that's awesome. Well, hey man, we'll have to talk off camera, but shoot, I know we've done a live before with like Locked on Rockets, Locked on Texans. Heck, I think it might be cool to do like a live with another podcast somewhere. We could,
for sure.
we could get a venue and you get your fans there, we get our fans there. We have a little crossover action and
definitely.
grow the show organically like that.
Yeah.
H-Town dudes, coming together.
H-Town takeover.
That's right, man. Let's do
H-Town
it.
takeover. Man, I'm telling you, that's the best thing. Like seeing like your local podcast, the people that it's been incredible a year, and it's been incredible. Like a year ago, like I said, I was just talking to see who out there in the universe was listening. A year now, fast forward a year now, dude, we're talking to you from Locked On Astros. Like,
Rios.
Geez, man, are you okay, Rios?
Yeah,
this is becoming an intervention now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, like Carlos is saying, like, a year ago we were just here talking nonsense pretty much, and over the past, like I would say, like 10 months or so, we've been able to like talk to like former players.
I've
like
ESPN twice.
Exactly,
he's been on ESPN twice.
We've talked to podcast hosts like yourself, like. And we love it. There's nothing that we like more than just talking sports, drinking a beer with friends.
Yeah, no, and I think it's great. I think what you guys have going is a really solid thing. Like when I saw that y'all tweeted out, y'all were gonna have me on as a guest again. Like I was impressed with the retweets. I was like, wait. I was like, my show didn't get that many retweets. What am I doing wrong? Like these guys have really and what that shows is that you guys have grown this organically. And that's what I think is the greatest thing about a podcast is, especially when you're able to grow it on your own. I was given a platform where Eric invited me on to Locked On, and Locked On's platform was big when I got onto it, but it wasn't the monster that it is now. Mm-hmm. So, I've always kind of had that advantage, and I've always been willing to say that. So, although I really feel like I've been quite successful as a podcaster, I know where I came from. I know the foundation that was laid before me, and I just take a great responsibility in that. But I think for you guys, you should have a lot of pride in what you do because it's quality. You guys make sense. You guys don't get on the podcast and people can't slam y'all because you know what you're talking about. I think one of the toughest things you'll see people do when they start a podcast is maybe they try to get into things that they really don't know much about.
Yeah.
And that comes across really quick because one thing I learned, never believe your press. If all you hear is good stuff, never believe every bit of it and never pay too much attention to the negative. But in the negative, make sure that you take a truth out of there because every criticism has something that you can learn from. And so that's what I've learned. And you just got to stay humble and just be real. And people will be drawn to that.
Oh, for sure, man. Like I said, it's all about being yourself. If you're yourself, if you're not trying to be like this, these if you're not trying to be something you're not, it's just this is us. This is literally how we talk to each other. Yeah. I make fun of Rios all the time, and he makes fun of me. I make fun of Poppy. Poppy makes fun of me. That's the friendship you have with your friends, your real friends.
They actually bully me. They actually bully me.
He's reaching out to a program right now. No. And so after the
As soon
podcast,
as
he goes
as soon as the cameras go off, I go
Right.
to my room and
He's like
cry.
crying.
it's so that's where it is, and I agree with you 100%. The organic stuff, just like growing your podcast organic. I've been happy that we're hanging out in the Twitter spaces with the we're just like the We Are Texans crew, now, and we've had a AD, who's a big part of that, and we're hanging out with them and on the spaces, and it's been fun. I hosted a space yesterday just randomly, and it had over like 80 to almost 100 people on there from
That's
just from
awesome.
Houston
I
alone.
wanted to
Like
listen to
Texans.
it,
It
but
was so fun,
I
dude.
was at work.
It's
Dude.
crazy.
I was like,
It's
why
crazy.
why is he
It's
doing this
crazy.
right now?
They go all out. There's no censorship, bro. I'm telling you, it is one of those things where you just got to sit down, and it's a great thing to do, like right after when you're driving in traffic. It's amazing. Like,
There you go.
they're relentless. But anyway, the whole point of this is, we're celebrating a year. It's been great, and guys like you, Brett, who reached, who you're one of those guys that we messaged, and you answered, and you said, yeah, guys like you are the reason why we're getting to where we are now, because you guys took the call, because you guys answered and took time out of your busy schedule to come on the show and just like hang out with us for a little bit. You know what I mean? And so,
No, yeah, and I mean, I appreciate it, and I'm always glad to help any way I can. If I have the time, if I'm available, just hit me up.
oh yeah,
I'll be there. I'll be Johnny on the spot, because I know for me, I live by the golden rule. You do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and
it's a code.
I would want people to do the same thing. And
Yeah.
I get frustrated sometimes when I reach out and reach out and reach out and reach out, and I don't get any responses. But I know for every 5 or 6 rejections, there's going to be that one solid one.
Yep.
And we've made some great connections within the organization. Like this next week when we go to spring training, my son and I actually was just texting him today. Steve Trimper, he's the head coach at Stetson University. He was at Maine. He was the one that recruited Jeremy Pena. And
nice.
I said, hey, coach, this is the day we're thinking about coming down. I was like, what time should we show up? And he said, look, if you get here before 3:30, that's when we start BP. I'll take you guys around the brand new clubhouse. We'll give you a tour. You can stay down here and watch BP. And I said, well, hey, you have to let Mr. Pena know that we're going to be at the Dominican Republic versus Israel game. He said, I'll let him know to be looking for y'all. I was like, hey, let's go. So,
nice.
but it's just getting to know people, and it's just treating people the right way. And that just goes so far, especially in a world that seems so divided at times.
Oh yeah.
It's like, just be nice, just be a decent person. And man, like I said, it goes a super long way when you're the good guy.
We're actually trying to replace Rios right now, so if you just want to come in more often,
yeah, man. We'll put you on the spot. We'll show
well,
them.
I'll tell you this.
It's gonna look something like this. It's gonna look something like this.
There you go. Hey,
man, Rios, I do not want to take your spot, brother.
I'm sorry, Rios. I'm sorry, Rios. Keep drinking.
I will.
keep drinking. Drink away your sorrow,
Salud.
sir.
God damn,
Dude.
Go big or go home.
Well, in that case,
amen, straight up.
So in that case, then I think it's the perfect time for our returning segment called how do you call it? Beer of the Week with Rios. So Rios, let us know about your beer of the week, sir.
That is so cool.
You like it? Yeah. All right, brother.
So I figured since we're bringing it back this week, I'll go with an old reliable, Paulaner Hefeweizen, my favorite beer. It's Germany's #1 Hefeweizen. I recommend it to everyone that anyone that's looking for a new beer to try. I always recommend this one. It's smooth. It always hits the spot, man. It's my favorite beer. I can drink this 7 out of 7 days of the week.
How many have you had today?
Yeah, seriously.
3 that big? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if it's 3.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, okay. If
It's 3 in one glass.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I was about to say, man.
Drink at the job, unfortunately. Would make the day easier, but no.
I remember the first time you had me try that beer, I instantly was like, this is the beer. This is the beer to go with.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm drinking some St. Arnold's that I still had in the fridge. trying to power through those before I get to my other ones.
Yeah, like, as far as ratings, 10 out of 10. Like I said, you can't go wrong with this one. It's always
Now-
on in my house.
10 Kyle Tuckers out of 10 Kyle Tuckers. All right.
10 Cal Tuckers out of 10 Cal Tuckers. Is that what you would rate it?
Hey, Mr. H-Town, Mr. Wheelhouse.
Why do you sound like you're like the butler, like in his house or something like that?
Because.
Because
So I know we're still not done with spring training. You know, we
Yeah.
have some good games, some decent games, some players out there. I know you mentioned the whole center field thing
Right.
with Myers and McCormick. As far as the starting lineup goes, who do you see taking that spot for the long run? Is it McCormick?
You mean for like for good for the season?
Yeah, for the season.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about it like towards the end of the last season during the playoffs. We felt like McCormick kind of earned it with the big plays he was making, but
It's a
there's
very
something
small
up-
sample size.
yeah, it's a very small sample size, and you wonder, right? Because in the offseason, you thought, are we going to trade for a center fielder? And we ended up trading for Jose Abreu instead. We're going to trade for a catcher. You know, like we have these spots where we're a little weak on, but it seems like, you know, management it's happy with the center field position at the moment. What do you think?
Well, I do think that Brian McTaggart is onto something. I do think it's ultimately right now, currently, between McCormick and Myers. And like again, I like Myers. I love the guy. I actually interviewed him before he got called up. I like his work ethic. I like everything he has to say. Like he knows the game. But I just think that shoulder injury has really done a disservice to his career. And it just, to me, he just doesn't look confident in the outfield. Maybe I have like a bias because I know the kind of shoulder injury he had, right? So I think it's Myers and McCormick just because that's the way the Astros do things. Like they're not going to pluck Dearden out of AAA and say, okay, you're now the backup. Dearden is going to probably have several at bats, a few games down in AAA. If Myers is not cutting it at all, you do have a utility man tandem of Hensley and you know, Mr. Dubon, who actually put on 20 pounds this offseason, which is probably means he
I've heard, yeah.
they hit a few home runs this year, and you know, instead of hitting them, you know, to the wall. But I think to answer your question, I think it's McCormick's job. If an unfortunate incident where McCormick gets injured or he really starts slumping and Dearden is just on fire, I think Dearden can come up. I think Dearden can take it from him. Now, I really thought that was going to be Pedro Leon's job, but when he's going to be out, like, I don't know how many more weeks he's out because of the hernia surgery. He's not a natural hitter. And we talked to Elvis, you know, Elvis Rodriguez of the Dominican Summer League. And he said, where Pena is more of a natural hitter, Kyle Tucker's more of a natural hitter, Pedro Leon's not. So I think it is McCormick, Myers, Dearden in that order. I think Dearden has a chance to leapfrog. Now, Corey Julks also sits in the wings, 30-plus home run guy in AAA, 27, looking every bit of a major league hitter right now, slugging power, a great defender, can play infield and outfield. Like, what are you going to do with Julks? I mean, are you going to trade the guy so he can play, or are you going to play him? Right. And so you've got a logjam coming in center field. And then to even go further with this, you got guys coming up behind him. And Melton and Gilbert and all this. But I think this year, McCormick and Dearden will garner most of the playing time in center field. If Myers does, it will be because Myers is getting the job done and he's performing. But he's going to get the chance first. That's just how Dusty is. That's how Jim Crane runs. He's going to be loyal to his guy until his guy is giving him no reason to put him out there.
Do you think even if they start slumping, right?
Oh yeah, I think that they can easily pull the trigger to bring a guy up, especially like a Dearden, because right now, you know, you do have Maldonado still in the lineup. We know now, he's lost weight. He looks great behind the plate. He's probably going to be more athletic. He's not injured this year, but his swing and miss at the plate is just, I mean, he just misses way too many baseballs with the bat. You can't replace his leadership, so that's why he's the starting catcher. But I think you'll see McCormick. I think you'll see Dearden at some point take over that backup role. And who knows, by the end of the season, if McCormick isn't playing up to snuff, you could see Dearden take over this year. I've been wrong before, but that's just how I'm projecting it right now. I feel pretty good about it.
How do you see Corey Lee this season?
I was just about to ask that actually.
What do you think
Corey
about Corey
Lee.
Lee?
So look, what do the Astros value more? Do they value defense behind the plate, or do they value the bat? I'm not saying Corey Lee can't hit, but Yainer Diaz has proven over the period of time that he's a better hitter moving through the system. I think Diaz offers more value when he's not catching and you throw him in as a DH than Corey Lee does. Now, if Corey Lee starts hitting the cover off the ball, Corey Lee's, I think, probably got the better arm, the better defender overall. But me, I'm going with offense. I think Diaz wins the backup position over Corey Lee, and I don't think I would have said that last year. I was honed in on Corey Lee, but I like Diaz because of his offense.
But given that our lineup this season looks to be very, very offensively heavy, with the addition of Abreu and Brantley coming back, do you think we're gonna, prioritize the offense from our catcher?
And that may be what gives Corey Lee the advantage, right? It's just it depends on what they want. David Sampson said it best to us on the show. He said the only teams that go out and sign offensive catchers are teams that don't have offense in other positions.
Right.
And they're not worried about the offense. So if it is defense and Corey Lee's gunning them down at second, even with these shorter base paths and all that stuff, then Corey Lee, who's the higher ranked, I think, prospect overall, will get it. But let me tell you, Diaz is on his heels. And you know what? He has a little brother that's also in the system, and he's supposed to be a better hitter than Yainer.
Oh,
what position does he play?
Oh gosh, you would drill me on that. I can't remember if he's a first baseman or also a catcher.
Okay.
I'll have to look at it. I'll send it to you guys on Twitter. I can't.
We need a first baseman anywhere. Both of our first basemen are like 45 years old. So
yeah, 480 years old. Apparently the Marlins are talking to Yuli right now.
Yeah, I heard.
Again, I'm like minors for Yuli. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Yuli is such a legend in this ball club, dude. Like he deserves better.
He does, but I'm gonna quote Moneyball. Billy, there comes a time when we're all told that we can't play the game anymore. We never know when that is. And we believe that we are going to offer you this offer is going to be the best we can, because if you don't take this, you may not ever get this chance again. Like, you can go play college, but we need you to play now. And it may be Yuli's time. There's got to be something that the Astros saw. There's got to be something that they saw that they didn't want to invest in for another season.
I don't know what that thing is, because he was our most consistent hitter in the postseason.
You're right. You're right about that.
He was getting on base more than anybody. He was moving the bases more than anybody. And I just cannot fathom that we traded for another first baseman rather than go get like a for sure center fielder or a for sure left
Jose
fielder.
Abreu at the end of the day, though.
I mean, yes, I understand that it's Abreu, but that wasn't a position of as much weakness as we thought, and we saw that in the postseason. When Julie got injured, Mancini came in, made the clutch play. He wasn't hitting for nothing.
Yeah,
So
but you knew you were going to lose Mancini, though. Like, you knew you
exactly,
were going to lose Mancini.
but I feel good having Julie in the lineup.
Well, I mean,
I feel very good having Julie in the lineup. I don't think that was a position of need that we really needed, and that's what I was trying to tell you guys back in the postseason.
Well, now, so knowing that the Astros use the analytics they do, looking at Yuli's age and looking at he's kind of had
like 30, 39. Jesus Christ.
If you look at his years, he'll have a good year, bad year, good year, bad year, right? So last year was his bad year. But at his age, the probability of him having a good year, a bounce back year over 162 games is smaller. And you gave the contract you did to Jose Abreu. That was really actually not that bad of a contract. You pay him for 3 years. You're really actually paying him a 2-year deal. You're just giving him a bonus year. You really gave him 2 years, $66 million or $68 million. You just say, we want you back for a third year, because they don't have that first baseman of the future. You had to get somebody, because if you have Maldonado in there And if you have Yuli and he ends up being a 0 again at the plate like he was last year, and then you have McCormick, or let's say Pena struggles this year because the league adjusts to him, now you've got 4 weak spots versus 1 or 2, and you can't hold on to players because of sentimental value.
It's a
And
business
that's
at the end of
where
the
I
day.
trust Jim Crane.
Yeah, it's a business at the end of the day, just like football.
But I agree with you on his value, on his legendary status. And I never say any of this on our show because I don't like Yuli, because I don't want Yuli to be an Astro. It's just sometimes you just got to come to the realization, time to move on.
Yeah, but Abreu's 35. If we would have gotten somebody
Yuli's
that was
39.
Played,
if we would have gotten somebody that's for the future, like I remember there were rumors we were getting that first baseman from is it Josh Bell? Was it?
Yeah, Josh Bell.
Like I was happy with that idea, and I'm like, he's still pretty young. He's pretty good at hitting the ball. He's basically everything that we want in a first baseman.
So
and that ended up falling through or whatever, and then we got Abreu. Yes, former MVP for sure, but he still doesn't resolve the future problem.
I think Abreu too. Abreu, hits 311 career with runners in scoring position. Had he played in Minute Maid Park last year, he would have had 22 home runs at least. He has played 96% of the games that he has been in the option of being on the lineup card for. So he doesn't have a big injury history. He is a big body guy, so apparently he can withstand the long season. And I think you have enough guys that can platoon at first, that can go in at first to help out. And I'm thinking also Yuli's probably financial demands were definitely higher than what the Astros wanted.
That's probably the problem.
Would it make you feel better if they signed Tucker to an extension?
Oh, 100,000%.
Yes,
100%.
Because if I lose another franchise player because we don't want to pay them, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm still bitter about Springer.
I want to be on that show. I want to be on that. If that happens, God forbid it does. I want to be on that episode.
Oh, it's going to be an hour-long rant.
Dude, because as much as Cole has struggled with I don't know if struggle is the right word, but as much as he hasn't been the ace they thought they were getting when they got him from the Astros, I was still on the camp of like, pay that man. Because
look, man, I got my Garrett Cole autograph picture back here, and I even told him, hey, if I start a GoFundMe account to keep you in Houston, would you like that? He's like, I would love that. So he wanted to stay.
Because ever since Springer left, we've had a hole in center field, and I don't want that to happen if Kyle Tucker were to leave.
The leak is going to be fixed. I promise you. You got to look at Melton. You got to look at Clifford. You got to look at Gilbert. There are some studs that are coming up. And some of these younger guys that we're looking at, there's this Cuban that's going to be 17. The Astros have been eyeing him since he was when he was 15. Him and his dad defected, and he comes with a $2 million signing. I think bonus is what he's asking. But I'm telling you right now, this Astros run, guys, is going to go for another 5 years.
He's Cuban?
Very confident in that.
You say he's Cuban?
He's Cuban, yes.
Okay, we're set. We're set. We're set. We're good.
See, there you go.
Are you happy now?
Your Yuli Blues.
Yeah, there you go.
We gotta pay Kyle Tucker though. We have to.
Yeah, I agree. Kyle Tucker needs to stay in this roster long term.
Like I've been saying all off season, this is gonna be the year of Kyle Tucker.
I said it I think I was full steam. They said list your predictions. I said Kyle Tucker's going to win the MVP, and we're going back to back. That was my prediction.
I don't know about MVP, but I think he's going to be in the conversation.
By the way,
I think he's going to be in the conversation.
By the way, you said full steam, right? I don't know if you've checked them out, H-Town. Full steam ahead is pretty good Astros podcast.
Full steam ahead, yeah.
Full steam ahead.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, they're friends of ours too. So yeah, I just didn't know. Sorry, I had to mention them because they're such cool dudes too.
No, cool. Okay, so look, here's some in on a couple Cubans. Okay, Sandro Gaston. If you haven't heard of them, they call him El Tanque, 20-year-old Cuban. Yes, El Tanque. His first Dominican Summer League, 319, 420, 688 with 14 doubles and 12 home runs.
Ooh,
okay. He is in spring training this year in Florida. He is in minor league camp. You also have, and he's apparently the catcher of the future. Sandro Gaston. If you look up Kenny Van Doren with Astros Future, you can see some at bats by him. He is phenomenal. And the Astros are in on. I'm looking for this guy that they just announced the other day. He like I said, he comes with a $2 million signing bonus. The Astros are on the cusp of continuing to do great things with their international signings. I mean, that's what I think hurts most about the World Baseball Classic is like 40% of our guys are from Latin
Are in
countries.
there.
So it makes it tough during the World Baseball Classic, right? Because all your guys they're all gone, you know. But just keep an eye on the Dominican Summer League, follow Astros Future, follow guys like that talk about this, that know all about these guys. And I'm telling you, you are going to be pleasantly surprised when you start discovering who these kids are and where they're coming from and what kind of future we actually have.
See, I want to piggyback off of what you said about the Astros international roster. That has been That has been the thing that has brought a lot of success to the Astros. Those international signings of Luis Garcia, Christian Javier, Framber Valdez, Jeremy Pena, like you name them, like they have been such an, and there's more coming. Like that's the thing. There's more international players coming. That I think has been the ace. I mean, not the ace, but the what's helped the Astros. So elevate to this level. It has
That
been
and
the
the fact that the
backbone.
Yankees suck.
That's right. Let me tell you, man. I mean, there's another guy named Jose Fleury who is phenomenal. I'm looking for my names that I have. I have on my phone. I have all these different Cuban player names that he gave me. But anyways, we'll have to talk about that sometime. There's a lot to get into with that. We could literally have a 3-hour show just talking about all the guys the Astros have that are in the pipeline. And if you have 9 guys that are great, even if 2 of them are hits, that's what you want. That's what you want.
Right.
Exactly. All right. Well,
I want one of these for every finger.
Are you gonna be like Thanos now?
we wanna end up like Bill Russell by the end of by the end of the decade. We want to end up like Bill Russell.
Amen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, HTownWheelHouse, thank you for joining us. Don't go anywhere yet. We're gonna end the show now, but don't go anywhere yet, and we'll talk a little bit off air. But thank you everyone for watching this episode. This episode 52, no 50, whatever it is. I'll put it up there later. I can't think, but I appreciate HTownWheelHouse for coming out. Please check them out on check them out on Locked On Astros, and of course follow them on Twitter under HTownWheelHouse. Check them out. Thank you again for coming. Always a pleasure having you on the show, bro. It's like it's awesome. It's like a hangout. You don't want it to end.
Right.
Well, I appreciate it. The feeling is mutual. Like I said, anytime you guys want to have me on, just let me know and I'll be here.
Oh, for sure. No problem. All right. I'm gonna end the
wait
show.
till we lose the game because of the time clock, and then we'll have you on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want to see a vein pop or something.
Yeah, all right.
All
right, well, we'll end it, and like I said, don't go anywhere just yet, and we'll see y'all next week to our 1-year anniversary. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be like a 3-hour show, y'all. So see y'all next week. Peace.